So look, the holiday season is one of my favorite times of year, that and my birthday. And our wedding anniversary, of course. Just gonna keep digging this hole deeper and deeper.
I just want you to remember, don't you ever let anyone take your power away from you. So tonight, Kamala Harris delivered a speech at the DNC's holiday party, essentially a fundraiser dinner for all of the biggest Democrat donors. And keep in mind, on their side, it is called a holiday party and not a Christmas party. But all joking aside, her speech tonight has led to widespread speculation on a number of fronts, and we'll get into that in a second. But first of all, I do want to point out that many people have been speculating that Kamala Harris may have been drunk yet again, because let's not forget the last time that she delivered a speech in public, she sounded incredibly sloshed. Take a listen.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
So you may remember that that online speech was delivered right after she came back from what was allegedly a 6-day bender vacation there in Hawaii. But now we come to the DNC's dinner tonight. Now, in total fairness, again, the obvious conclusion, I think, is Kamala Harris is clearly not doing well. She's not in a very good condition. And there was probably alcohol present at the dinner. You know, it's kind of a fundraiser gala. That's usually what happens. It's possible. I'll tell you what I think in a second. But first, folks, do us a big favor. Make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. Help us hit our goal of 400,000 subs by the end of the year. And with that said, okay, so judge for yourself. That was Kamala Harris the last time, pretty obviously, like, just hammered. Now here's Kamala Harris tonight.
Our spirit is not defeated. We are not defeated. Let's be clear about that. We are strong. We are clear about why we are in this. And because you're here right now, I say, again, thank you, because not only are you clear about all of that, you're willing to put in the hard work. And that work must continue. We cannot let any circumstance or situation or individual ever take away our power to know why we do what we do and our ability to then get that work done. And especially because we know what we stand for, and that's why we know what to fight for. We here believe in the promise of America.
Yeah, so first of all, there is Kamala Harris vowing that she is going to stay in the fight, and this may be linked to some 2028 rumors. Yeah, Kamala may seriously be considering running again. We'll talk about that here in a second. But first, to address the claims of what is up with Kamala Harris, well, here's the part where I agree on. Clearly, something is off about her still, okay? I mean, you know, you saw her the last time. She's like, don't you ever let anyone take your power away from you. Now she's like completely wired, right? You look at her eyes, they're gigantic. She seems almost like overly stimulated, over laser focused. Guys, my suspicion there, I'm just going to say, feel free to have your theories. But watching that, looking at the way she looks, again, it's not well. It seems like she's on something, but it's kind of the opposite of alcohol, I'll say. And that's all I'm going to say, okay? And I'm just saying that's what it seems like, allegedly. We don't know for sure. I'm just pointing out here, Kamala Harris clearly since the election has not looked all that well. You know, the last time she was in public, she was completely hammered, it would seem. And now this time, she is completely wired. It's just very strange, is what I'm going to say, okay? And that's all we're going to talk about that. But anyways, to address and try to break down the substance of the word salad that she so generously delivered to us there, why is she vowing that she's going to stay in the fight? Well, according to some reporting in the media, Kamala Harris is eyeing actually having a political future. The mainstream theory is that she's going to try to run for the California governorship in 2026, but there's also widespread speculation that she may be running again in 2028 for the presidency, which is hilarious. I mean, that is the literal definition of insanity, and Kamala Harris, despite that, is currently polling as the top Democrat frontrunner for 2028 among that party's voters. I don't know what they're thinking there, but here is some talk of that by insiders on CNN.
Tell us what the likelihood is of Harris running for governor.
What she's been saying to people over the last couple of weeks, donors, other supporters that she's been talking with, is, you haven't seen the last of me. I'm not going quietly into the night. Advisors, people close to her, are debating about what that means. They do not want her final official act ever to be essentially certifying Donald Trump's win over her. And so they look at this governor's race in California in 2026, and it seems to them like a layup, essentially, that she would probably clear the field, or mostly clear the field, and she would get to be governor of California. But if she does that, that means that she couldn't turn around and run for president again in 2028, right? She'd need to essentially declare right away. And that is what it really comes down to, because there are people close to her who say she didn't get a fair shot this year. It wasn't up to what she could have done, and look how well she performed anyway. She should get to go again in 2028. And then there are ones who say, look, with where things are with the Democratic Party, she would not have a clear field, a cleared field, rather, in the Democratic primary, and could lose the nomination. And to come off of 2024 into that would be really terrible.
Yeah, again, the literal definition of insanity. And that cope to me that a lot of Democrats have been running with, oh, well, she only had 90 days to do this. I mean, it wasn't really fair, is just so hilarious, because under conventional standards, they would be right. But I think the part of this that they're missing is that Kamala Harris is not a good presidential candidate. And we saw this exact story back in 2020, where she started off with a lot of momentum early in that primary and she collapsed. Why did she collapse? Because the longer that voters get to know Kamala Harris, the less that they like her. Okay, as a matter of fact, being switched in last minute and never really being able to define herself was the best thing that Kamala Harris had going for her in 2024. Because trust me, if you had a whole cycle to define Kamala Harris, Trump probably wins New Jersey and maybe Virginia, maybe even Tim Walz's home state of Minnesota. Just saying, okay? So that's just insane. That's just delusional. I fully encourage them to do it. But in all fairness, I'm not sure if in the current state of Kamala Harris, she's really in the position to be running for any political office. I mean, allegedly, it would seem she might have to work on not abusing certain things. Just saying, if she wants to get back into politics. But this type of talk, whether she's going to run for governor or for president in the future, coincides with the fact tonight that Kamala Harris was spotted once again groveling to the DNC donors, who, let's not forget, very infamously by now, donated $1 billion to her campaign.
As a result of your leadership and your support, the National Finance Committee held more than 700 events across the country and raised nearly $700 million. An historic achievement, which without a doubt made our campaign stronger.
Yeah, guys, the $1 billion you gave us made our campaign so much stronger. That's why we lost, obviously, right? Because, the $1 billion did such a great job. It went to so much of a fantastic effort there. And we're totally not just begging, because it's been widely reported a lot of Democrat donors are pissed that they were lied to. And of course, let's not forget the Kamala campaign is finishing their $20 million in debt. But she's going out there saying, thank you so much for giving us $1 billion so that we could spend like $1 million on Oprah and $10 million to Beyonce and all this other just total waste of money that went nowhere. Thank you so much. Please donate again. Please, 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 is essentially what she is saying there. And by the way, again, let me just say, okay, feel free to let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. But something is off about her. I'm just saying. It clearly seems off. Like, it's almost as if she is still on that now month-long bender after losing the election, just drinking the sorrows away. And then she was like, oh, shoot, I got to speak at a fundraiser. Let me consume something. Just that's what it seems like. Allegedly is all I'm saying. But moving on here, that is not the only funny aspect of the Democrat Party dinner tonight, because guess who also spoke, guys? Joe Biden. That's right. Dark Brandon has returned. And hilariously, you think about the current mood of the DNC, of the Democrat Party. They're in total distress. They're in panic. They're feeling demoralized. They're like, what do we do going forward? Joe Biden clearly does not care about any of that, okay? Like, he just doesn't care. And he got on that stage to simply try to brag about his legacy, because he clearly did such a great job just giving himself one big pat on the back. It's hilarious. Take a listen.
The one thing I've always believed about public service, and especially about the presidency, is the importance of asking yourself, have we left the country better shape than we found it? Today, I can say with every fiber of my being, with all my heart, the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Yes. Because of all of you assembled here, we can be proud we're leaving America in a better place today than when we came here 4 years ago. This country was living through the worst pandemic the country had seen in 100 years. Our economy was in a tailspin. Millions of people were out of work. Businesses were being shuttered. Schools were closed. And there was no plan for going forward. Just 2 weeks before being sworn in, we just witnessed something we thought would never happen in America. A violent insurrection encouraged by the man sitting in the White House on January 6th. There's so much more. We've come a long way since then.
Yeah, so I'd like to really dispute the claims that Joe Biden left the country better off than he found it. But let's not even get into that. I just objectively think it's really funny that all these Democrat donors and officials are sitting here thinking, what do we do next? Give us hope for the future. What are we supposed to do? Trump is going to take over everything is what they think, right? And Joe Biden is just out there saying, guys, didn't I do such a great job? Yay. Let me give my farewell address for the 20th time. Yay, I'm such a great president. It's just so funny. Here is the claim, by the way, too. This is so outrageous. Biden said with a straight face that he ran a scandal-free campaign. Basically, I think here, trying to take a shot, first of all, at the Democrat donors who pushed him out. He's like, look, I ran a great campaign, actually, don't you know? Kind of funny. But at the same time, really? You ran a scandal-free campaign? That is objectively not true, but here's what he said.
We run a campaign that's basically scandal-free. It's hard to do in American politics these days.
If I'm not mistaken, was that not literally Democrat donors in the background laughing? They were laughing. It's that ridiculous. Joe Biden did not run a scandal-free campaign, really. It was so scandal-free that they cooed him out of office. Or out of the candidacy, I should say. Yeah, it's so scandal-free, buddy. It's definitely not a scandal when your own party thinks you're such a bad candidate and so, mentally unfit that they push you out. I don't know, but there's Joe Biden. Now, here, very hilariously, last clip we'll play here. Biden apparently said to Kamala Harris tonight, after, let's not forget, an entire election cycle where he was trying to sabotage her campaign, now he's saying, we love Kamala Harris, right? Amidst all of the rumors that Kamala may be running in 2028, what does Joe Biden say, right? The ultimate saboteur of his own party. He says, you're not going anywhere, kid, because we're not going to let you go.
Well, look, it's also been an incredible honor to serve with someone of immense character as she demonstrated through her entire career, Kamala Harris. I knew what I was doing when I asked her to be my vice president. I knew her. I knew of her. I knew about her. I knew her record. I trusted her. She always served this country with purpose and integrity, and she always will. And you're not going anywhere, kid, because we're not going to let you go.
You're not going anywhere, kid, because we're not going to let you go. So there is Joe Biden trying to screw over the Democrat Party, sabotage his side for the second straight election cycle. Okay, pushing, yeah, Kamala, casually, like underhandedly there. Yes, Kamala, please run in 2028. Suddenly you're so amazing, and Biden loves Kamala so much despite all of the undermining and like backdoor politics there. It's hilarious. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Okay, we want to run against Kamala again. And Joe Biden's endorsement means the world for whatever it's worth in Democrat politics these days. But with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What do you think of Kamala's little speech, her 2028 speculated odds, as well as Joe Biden's little ridiculous farewell address there? Let me know. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.